Hey there, Wondering Watchers. Welcome to this pick a card love reading that explores the reasons why your future spouse falls in love with you. During this reading, it's important to be open to the messages that come through, because sometimes we downplay or disregard certain qualities or characteristics about ourselves that other people truly appreciate and value. Or there are things that we might find difficult to do for ourselves that we would readily do on behalf of others. Or we simply change as we grow and might do something in the future that we haven't really done before. Keep in mind that these cards only provide perspective. You have agency over your life and you make the decisions about how you experience it. Your choices and your actions reveal your ultimate truth. For those of you ready right now to learn why it is that your future spouse falls for you, the link to each reading is in the description box below. I have in front of me 4 piles of cards. Pile number 1, we have the Housewives Tarot. Pile number 2, Tarot of Oneness. And pile number 3, the Light Seers Tarot. And pile number 4, Neoteric Feminine Tarot. Pick the pile of cards that you feel drawn to the most. If the reading for a particular pile doesn't seem to resonate for you, then feel free to pick another pile. Trust your intuition to lead you to the right reading. Feel free to pause this video if you need more time to review your deck choices. Once you've made your decision, go to the description box and click the link for the corresponding pile. Now it's time to tap into the cards, choose your falling in love tarot adventure, and let's make magic happen. Welcome back. This is the reading for group number 1, those who picked the Housewives Tarot, to reveal the feelings and thoughts of your future spouse as they are falling in love with you. So, group number 1, let's see what we have here. Okay, this one wants to come out. We have here the 6 of Cups, the Tower, the Lovers, and 6 of Swords. So group number 1, it seems that your future spouse falls in love with you because you have this ability to maintain or attain balance and harmony in your life. It may be that there are aspects of your childhood that help you to kind of seek out ways for you to feel comfort. Perhaps there is a sense of you knowing what you kind of can't handle, knowing when to maybe ask for help, knowing maybe when to kind of hunker down and, possibly prepare for the worst. With this Tower here, it's a sense of their admiration of you being able to kind of recognize when, things just didn't turn out the way you believe. Like, you can kind of pick yourself back up and be in that place of like balance and harmony. And with this Lovers here, it is a sense that you kind of not only have that ability to find balance and harmony in yourself, but to kind of share that with others, to know that, it's like not that you're not spontaneous, it's just that you know better. It's that you kind of know there's something better for you in the future. So it might be that there are difficulties that everyone has in life, and when you go through that, you kind of again, know when to kind of ask for help, know how to seek that aspect of comfort and move on. I think it's interesting. You have the Six of Cups, the Six of Swords, and the Lovers, which is the sixth major arcana card. And with the Tower, it's the 16th major arcana card. So maybe they also kind of fall in love with your, not only just your sense of balance, but just being even keeled all the way around. So we also have here athlete, gambler, child orphan, and monk nun. Okay, so it may be that you don't really feel athletic, but your ability to kind of overcome obstacles, to kind of really find strength when others in your situation might not know where to find that strength. That's another reason why your future spouse falls in love with you. It's a sense of you kind of overcoming certain limitations, and not necessarily because there's a lot of like limitations that you have, but in terms of just life in general, your ability to kind of almost persevere. With this gambler, your future spouse kind of admires how you might kind of be looking at a situation or be in a situations where you are like the odds are against you, and you kind of being able to find that sense of balance and middle ground to kind of figure your way through, like, you know, whatever the situation is, really trusting how you're feeling and trusting that you can kind of get to a place where you feel comfortable. With this child orphan, it could be that your future spouse either recognizes that you've had to really do a lot on your own. Maybe you either felt neglected by your family, or you were just in a situation where you had to take care of yourself or take care of others, and not have people kind of doting over you and making sure that you're doing okay. It's almost as if they admire your ability to that concept of being persevering, and that concept of being able to find that balance and harmony, even as a child. It's almost as if they really either had that similar situation themselves, and they're kind of learning from you on how to kind of like accept situations that happen and rise above. They're either learning that from you, or they just admire your ability to kind of come out of a situation that, like, not no one, but most other people just would have trouble coming out of on the other side. Not necessarily unscathed, but in a situation where it's like, well, next time I know what to do, or like just learning from that experience and being like better prepared for it. With this Monk Nun card, it's as if they fall in love with your ability to kind of make things okay for other people. It's not necessarily that you have like a vow of celibacy or anything like that. It's more that you are able to kind of see why certain people would do certain things to kind of land on their feet that they might not necessarily be proud of, and that you have that ability to kind of maybe not necessarily look down on other people, kind of recognize that people kind of at times do things that they need to do to kind of get to the other side of certain events that either they're just not prepared for, or that they didn't contribute to, or that, you know, they just are still trying to figure out who they are and how to reach that sense of balance and harmony within themselves. So let's see what else we have for you, group number 1. Otter Spirit, you are never alone. Scare Beetle Spirit, magic works through you. Wasp Spirit, sometimes life stings. And Whale Spirit, trust the great mystery. So group number 1, this sometimes life stings is kind of jumping out to me. And, you know, especially because you have the tower over here. So your future spouse, they fall for you because you have that ability to kind of accept, you know, when things are hard and kind of deal with it. You know how to not make a situation worse. Like if there's a bad situation, it's not necessarily that you just make the best of it. It's that you know how to kind of move through it and make sure that there's not a lot of damage sustained. With this, magic works through you. It's a sense of you being able to kind of mold, adjust things where it might for other people be very difficult. It might be very jarring. It might like kind of take them to a really dark place. And for you, you're able to, it's almost like magic where you can kind of shift what's kind of going on and make things where you kind of land on your feet. And it's not necessarily that you're, it has to do in part with your perspective of things, how you can kind of, it's not just like you can look at a situation and just see the best of it. It is as if you are feeling your way and thinking your way through a situation where there is the best outcome possible for the circumstances at hand. This trust the great mystery. It's as if your future spouse like really respects and admires your ability to kind of help them also navigate in, you know, when things are bad, to kind of, it's almost like they feel like you can protect them, and almost they see your ability to kind of navigate through your situation, your environment, and just accept what's kind of happening. Not like you're just laying down and taking it, but accepting and kind of taking things as they come, and knowing that you are going to be, regardless of a situation, you are going to find that sweet spot where you come out going like, okay, what's next? What can I almost still see a sense of adventure, and knowing you'll get to the other side and you're not necessarily going to shrink away from new opportunities, new experiences because of, some things that are difficult, or some conflicts or chaos, whatever it is. It's as if you kind of recognize it's almost like making me think of playing in the water and the beach and playing in the waves. And sometimes you go in and are really excited about it, and then you get knocked down by a wave, and then you start getting knocked down harder and harder, and it's like you kind of know just to ride it out, and you will kind of not stress out, not kind of freak out in the situation, but know that there's going to be a time for you to kind of swim back to the surface, catch your breath, and then dive back in again. So that's the sense that I get, that is one of the reasons why your future spouse falls in love with you. And this otter spirit, you are never alone. Even if you have grown up feeling alone, feeling that orphan child, kind of having to maybe grow up faster than others might, being more independent. It's as if you recognize that there are either people or aspects in the universe or in your environment where you are connecting. It's almost as if you can look outside and see a squirrel on a fence or something, and you see that squirrel and that squirrel sees you, and it's that recognition and that sense of you are never alone. So it could be that this connection that you have with others, even if it's something you don't feel all the time, or maybe you don't have this positive attitude, I'm never alone, but it's a knowingness, that sense of balance and harmony, and that landing on your feet concept, and sharing in the benefits of you working through or feeling through a situation. It's other people get the benefit of that, especially the people that you care about. And that's one of the reasons why your future spouse falls in love with you. So group number 1, let's get some more information here. We have crystals, map. Well, I'll take that. And this. We have crystal ball. And element earth. Okay, so group number 1, with this element earth, it is making me kind of think about how you can really be able to kind of ground yourself, whether it is being out in nature, or kind of being able to kind of know your limits, know what you're good at, know what you're not good at. that ability to kind of connect with what's practical and the ability to kind of ground yourself in reality, that is something that your future spouse like falls in love with you for. They kind of almost admire how you can be very practical, but also very like intuitive, and also kind of feel through a situation, like almost being able to connect with other people in a way that isn't obvious to others. With this crystals and this crystal ball, it seems like you have this ability to kind of make sure that things that are not for your best and highest good, drain you of energy, that kind of cloud your perspective or your perception. It's like like when and how to remove those things from your environment. It's also a sense of you being able to kind of see a situation for what it is and be able to kind of think clearly about what's there, even if regardless if it's a good situation or a bad situation. So it's not just being reasonable, it's the ability to almost foresee a certain situation kind of coming about. It's almost making me think of like Sherlock Holmes, in the sense of like noticing little things, dirt on shoes, or seeing a piece of paper sticking out of a drawer a certain way, like picking up on little cues like that. It's a sense like you might not know exactly, A plus B equals, T squared, like to put it that, but you can kind of like really get a sense of different things happening and kind of get a feel for like who you might not want to be around, who you might want to be closer to, who you might need to pay more attention to when they're talking. So your future spouse really falls in love with you for that ability, because it seems like you kind of tap into them the best, or they feel like that you tap into them the best and kind of really get them and almost serve as like not just like, not a lucky charm, but someone that they absolutely trust with, their secrets, with their fears, with their hesitations. And with this map card here, it seems like your future spouse really falls in love with the fact that you are, they know what to expect with you, but that doesn't mean that you are kind of unchanging. They almost expect you to keep like exploring and taking on new experiences, where they really want to see how far you go and how you get there, and they want to go on that journey with you, and they really kind of fall in love with your ability to guide them. So, to some degree, they rely on you a lot to help navigate their environment. And you provide them a sense of comfort that they might not have really had with, bending people or maybe anybody in life before. You have this air spirit knowledge, bear spirit healing, crystal cave trust, earth spirit stability. So here you've got the element earth, you've got the earth spirit, you've got the crystals, the crystal ball, the crystal cave, and this concept of like knowledge, like knowing certain things and being able to kind of land on your feet. And this healing, I do think that all these different qualities that your future spouse falls in love with you for, it's kind of helping them heal from their past, but also seeing how you give them that connection. The connection that you have with them is very healing for them. And that you are able to very much take care of yourself, to heal yourself, to like rise above a situation, to kind of see things from that higher perspective. And really this trust the great mystery and this trust in the crystal cave. It could be that there are moments or times in your life where you didn't trust, that there may have been some kind of pushback or rebellion, but it's as if like your future spouse sees you as being someone that they absolutely trust, that they would share like anything with you, because they think that you wouldn't necessarily judge them negatively, and that you would help to be like a rock for them, like a foundation for them, and really help them to kind of like learn to trust themselves a bit more, and learn to trust that they can navigate through their environment. But it seems like they pretty much have, they fall in love with you because they absolutely admire and need your touch, your support, and your guidance, and your love. So group number 1, this is what I have for you. I hope this reading provides a helpful perspective of the reasons why your future spouse falls in love with you. See you next time. Take care. Welcome back. This is the reading for group number 2, those who pick Tarot of Oneness, to reveal the feelings and thoughts of your future spouse as they fall in love with you. So I'm going to shuffle this up a few more times, and then we'll start getting some information for you, group number 2. Okay. So we have here 5 of Wands, 9 of Cups, 8 of Cups, and the Strength card. So group number 2, your future spouse, they fall in love with you because you are, you're feisty. You're someone who knows how to kind of take care of themselves, knows what fulfills them emotionally, knows when to kind of walk away from a lose-lose situation. It might not always have been that case, but they see you as someone who is very courageous, has a big heart, has the ability to kind of, fight for the things that you care about. Almost you have that ability to kind of, when you walk away from someone or something, it's very much felt by people in your environment. It may be that you at one point were kind of either soft-spoken or combative, one or the other, and you have really learned to kind of find how you can your power and strength in kind of either withholding your attention, withholding your affection, or even like your opinions. So we also have this addict card. You have this father card. Servant. And thief. Okay, so group number 2, your future spouse really falls in love with you because, again, you know when to walk away. You know when something is not fulfilling. You know when something is going to require more from you than you are willing to give in order to attain some particular outcome. So this addict card doesn't necessarily mean that, you're addicted to something. It's almost as if you are able to recognize when something is going to kind of be too much for you, too much too soon, take you down, and you're able to kind of say, no, I'm good. So they really, really admire that you can do that. With this father card here, it's as if they fall in love with you because you make them feel that they can be part of that like guiding force that you have, that they can add to your life and teach you, not necessarily teach you something that you didn't already know, but show you something that you can kind of enjoy, like, together. This strength that they find in you, it might be a way for them to see how you can be gentle and tough at the same time, and really kind of share that together. So like these experiences of needing to be brave or needing to be productive or needing to like show someone how to do things differently. It's as if they really love you for almost showing them how to be a better person and allowing yourself to learn from them as well to be better people, without there needing to be a sense of like instructions or you have to do this. It's almost like the way you work together, it's like both showing up and both wanting to kind of learn and wanting to improve from the situation without someone necessarily kind of saying you have to do this. It's like almost showing up and being excited to, work at your parents' shop for the day, not because you have to, but because you're excited about what you can learn or new ways to do things, and something that they can kind of carry on when you have decided to have a family, or if have pets or anything like that. With this servant card, it's as if you're kind of like with this father card, this concept of like power and control, like who's the authority figure and who is like the subservient person, who's the person with less power in this situation. It's almost as if they love you because they don't see you holding on to one position or the other, kind of like delineating, well, you're this, so you have to do that, and I'm this, so I get to do that. It's almost as if you both like share the pants in the relationship, like that concept of well, I work hard, so you have to cook the meals or whatever. It's not like that is anything that's required to be done. It's kind of like you both step up to fill in whatever role needs to be filled, just because you want to be there for the other and like helping, and like helping to make the other a better person. With this thief card, it's not as if you are a thief or they are a thief. It's almost that kind of like this addict card. Your future spouse falls in love with you because you have that ability to know when like the scales are unbalanced and things are getting tipped one way or the other, and that you will kind of like, no, we're doing this together. We have a sense of like balance here. This requires both of us, and it's not necessarily just you and your future spouse. It's almost as if you're the type of person that, like, let's say you go to a coffee shop and you order something. If they forget to charge you for, I don't know, an extra shot of espresso, or for getting almond milk instead of regular milk, you would point that out, because it's almost as if you don't want to be taking advantage of someone. You want to make sure that other people, it's almost like you want to look out for other people and make sure not only like to get credit that you are doing the right thing, but you don't want other people to be taken advantage of. You kind of know that that sometimes people just don't pay attention. They're just not there in the present moment. And so you're kind of the person who would just be like, hey, I could just get away with this, but I'm not going to, because that just adds to like some kind of underhandedness that you really don't want to be a part of. And so your future spouse, they fall in love with you. It's not like you are going around, being a tattletale on everyone. You just want to make sure there's a sense of balance and fairness, and kind of that concept of like the Five of Wands, of like fighting for the things that you care about, making sure that if there's like, people who can't really, can't really take care of themselves, but like just aren't aware of what's going on, you kind of stepping up and saying, hey, I'm good, like, let me help you out. You have mouse spirit, tend to the small things. You have porcupine spirit, time for beginner mind. Owl spirit, you see clearly now. And seahorse spirit, watch and wait. So group number 2, your future spouse, they fall in love with you because this tend to the small things. Some people might think that like, hey, you didn't charge me for this, don't forget to like add that to my bill. Some people might think that is like small things, but your future spouse really sees that as a huge effort on your part to really take pride in who you are and what you want to accomplish for your life, and like that concept of like really helping even the small things, helping the people who might, again, I don't want to say they can't help themselves, but people who momentarily just aren't seeing the bigger things, like you helping to point that out for them. And they really admire you for that. For this time for beginner mind, your future spouse falls in love with your ability to start anew, start something, like with this 8 of Cups, like cut the cord, walk away. It's not serving you. It's not fulfilling to you, and like, I'm going to try something different. I don't know where it's going to lead, but I'm going to try, and I'm going to try to make the best of it. They really love that you have this ability not just to start something new, but know when to leave something that is not working for you. And almost like with this like watch and wait, and this you see clearly now, it's not that you are kind of like flighty and just like don't care. With this 9 of Cups and this 8 of Cups and the strength, it's as if you really do give people the opportunity. You really put in that effort to see if you are, like jumping to conclusions, or if there is really something there that you need to act on. So they recognize that you have a patience, and can like, what's the word? Deal with discomfort, deal with confusion, and even, conflict. But the best way for you to kind of fight your battles, it's almost as if you gather that information, you make a decision. You don't necessarily have to make a big scene about it. You can. If you want to kind of be like, this is why I'm leaving, this is why I can't hang. It's almost with this 5 of Wands, you know what to fight for, but it's almost as they admire your ability to kind of rise above all that, just like gather the information, and when the time's right, you just take your action. And it's almost like a very like classy way to deal with the situation, a classy way to take a situation and not necessarily rub someone's nose in it or take advantage of it. And again, that kind of calls to that concept of thief. It's like you're not trying to get away with something that you didn't earn. It's almost as if it's almost like as if there's certain people that are willing to take a situation and learn from it, learn in a way that's like, oh, I didn't see that, I didn't understand that at the time. Like, you recognize those people, and you recognize the people who just aren't going to learn, or they don't really care to learn, and you will act accordingly based on that, because you have been paying attention, you've been watching and waiting and observing and learning. You have this Salt card, Element Spirit, Sage, and Familiar Cat. Okay, so with this Salt and this Sage card here, these cards kind of indicate that you know how to like clear your energy, clear space, and it's reminiscent of this like walking away from something, knowing when to like cut the cord. It's as if you are ensuring that the environment that you are operating in is on the up and up, that you're succeeding, that people around you are succeeding and thriving, and like there's really not a lot to bring you down, to take you down. It's as if you actively are kind of putting up barriers for any of that, like with this addict and this thief, kind of knowing when there is a potential for a downfall, for like negativity, for greed, for materialism, superficiality to kind of like dominate the environment. You have that ability to kind of figure out when that's happening and really put up those barriers. And however that is, maybe you do like practice with magic, with herbs, or you could even just like, not today, not going to deal with that today, and just like physically remove yourself from the situation. However you deal with it, your future spouse really, they admire that. They love you for that. They might not necessarily know how to do that themselves. And so to a certain degree, you are like showing them how to protect themselves, though they might not necessarily be good at that. They might not necessarily want to have like confrontational situations, and might not know how to take a situation and kind of make it not confrontational, because you're doing what you need to do without necessarily letting other people know about it. With this Element Spirit, I feel like this has to do with your ability to kind of manifest a certain essence about you, to get your environment to be exactly the way you want it to be, like your desires, your ability to kind of make sure that the situation, the environment is fulfilling to you, is like helping you thrive, is what you need to be like more powerful and stronger, and in the sense of power and strength being for you thriving in life. And I feel like your future spouse falls in love with your ability to do this, and they're affected by it. With this Familiar Cat, there's a bit of like maybe mysticism that your future spouse is intrigued by. Maybe you get them to be more of a cat person than a dog person, and get them to sense like that connection with like an animal that they hadn't experienced before or thought possible. It also could be that you kind of get them to be interested in protective spells or using magic, or like even just like learning the history of like a location that might be haunted or something. It's as if they fall in love with this potential to connect with the universe and the environment and the people around, really by tapping into your intuition. They have that ability themselves. Everyone has that ability, but it's almost as if they see, because maybe they're around you more, they know you better, they are affected by you the most. It's as if you can help them open up their eyes and be more curious about that. And that's something that they fall in love with you for as well. So group number 2, let's see what else we have here. We have Blue Bell Fairy Gratitude, Butterfly Spirit Transformation, Crystal Cave Trust, and Standing Stone Passage. So group number 2, with this Bluebell Fairy Gratitude, your future spouse falls in love with you because of your ability to tend to the small things, to be grateful for the things that give you positive energy and positive feedback in your environment. You're very much acknowledging of the things that help you thrive, including your future spouse. With this Butterfly Spirit Transformation, it's as if they've seen you either go through difficult periods and kind of struggle in the past to break free from things that aren't for your best and highest good, or they have gotten to know you after that difficult period and more with you able to see things and anticipate when things aren't going to be good, and making sure that your environment is the way you need it to be to thrive. And they admire you for that. They admire what you are, what you have become, and what you can kind of teach them as well. With this Crystal Cave Trust and this Standing Stone Passage card here, it's as if your future spouse really, first of all, trusts you completely. Trusts that you are going to lead them wherever. It's almost like they would follow you wherever. They trust you with this element spirits. Almost like you can see this color of the element spirit in this card over here. It's as if they are drawn to you and they trust you completely to help them move forward to a place where they are thriving in your environment as well, because you make sure that where you are is the best for you to help you thrive. So they trust that you are doing that, and they will benefit as well from your efforts, from you just being you. So group number 2, this is what I have for you. I hope this reading provides a helpful perspective of why your future spouse falls in love with you. See you next time. Take care. Welcome back. This is reading for group number 3, those who picked the Light Seers Tarot to reveal why it is your future spouse falls in love with you. So let's go ahead and shuffle up these cards, and then we will begin. Okay, so we have here 8 of Swords, Queen of Swords, Three of Swords, and the Death card. So group number 3, your future spouse falls in love with you because of your ability to really learn from your past. You may have at some point kind of felt like a victim, felt like you didn't have power or control. You perhaps made a decision to really see things clearly, to really try to be more honest about your situation, to be more analytical, to really protect your heart a bit more, because you recognize that there is situations from your past, upset, disappointment, heartbreak that has really shaped you. So your future spouse recognizes that your decision to be more matter of fact about things has to do with kind of like how you dealt with situations in your past, how you kind of work through those problems, but they fall in love with you because of your ability to still grow. It's almost as if they see you transforming out of that more guarded, protected version of yourself, and possibly when it comes to your connection with your future spouse, kind of letting your guard down and possibly allowing yourself to feel things that you didn't want to feel in the past. Feel things you didn't want to feel in the past, and maybe don't want to feel even when it comes to the connection with your future spouse, but they really fall for your ability to kind of, despite that, let your guard down and really reflect and let go of some things. So interestingly, you've got this slave card and this prostitute card. Doesn't necessarily mean exactly what's on, what the typical versions are. With this slave card, that is that concept of like the 8 of Swords, like just kind of surrendering, kind of like feeling like you have no power, possibly because you trusted people completely, maybe for the wrong reasons or the wrong people, but also a sense of maybe a fear of making the wrong decision. So here it's as if they are seeing this transform as like, I'm not going to give up any of my power. I'm not going to surrender any of this. And recognizing that your future spouse isn't trying to take advantage of you, so that you are starting to trust or opening up to trust your future spouse and learning to kind of allow yourself to be open to those experiences of like vulnerability, and opening your heart again. With this prostitute card, it's as if they see that you are recognizing what you might have compromised about yourself in the past, what you might have given up of your power, your control, your independence even, for an exchange of something that at the time you thought was worth giving up, because of whatever potential benefit. So they kind of see that this change that you're going through or have gone through, it's allowing you to kind of recognize the strength that you have and that ability that you still have value that you know to protect, and making sure that you're not necessarily compromising the things that you don't want to compromise. So they fall in love with you because they kind of sense that you are going through this like transition or recognition of almost knowing who to be vulnerable with, knowing what you're willing to give up, because you have that sense of value of yourself and that you find value in them to kind of be willing to be vulnerable with, to kind of negotiate and compromise this kind of almost like the barrier around yourself, your heart, that you've had. With this King card here, it's as if they fall in love with you because you recognize that they can protect you and that you can protect yourself. It's not like you owe anybody anything, you don't owe them anything. And that you're not willing to just give because you feel like you are that slave. It's as if you are recognizing your own power, your own value, and wanting to protect that, but also wanting to protect the connection you have with someone, and where you're allowed to be vulnerable, where you're allowed to kind of let your guard down. You have this child nature card. So group number 3, your future spouse really falls in love with your ability to connect, to really feel the environment, to feel your connection with other people, with animals. It's almost as if with all these swords, they are recognizing, or they do recognize, that the reason why you are kind of you have been very like matter of fact, and not going to say cold, but wanting to make sure you're not like taken as a fool, that you're not taken advantage of. It's because you do feel things immensely, that you are someone who, feels when other people are hurting. So to some degree, or not even just hurting, like there's a desire or want in them. So to some degree, it's as if the reasons why you kind of put yourself in a situation of giving up your power, of letting kind of people have authority over you, of like, it's almost as if you didn't want others to feel lack or insecurity or powerlessness. So you kind of took that on yourself. And so they more see that you have a very like giving nature. It's like you'd rather give up something that you care about. You'd rather be vulnerable. You'd rather be in a place of lack and want than to watch someone that you care about be in that situation. And so they don't necessarily want you to be in that situation, but they love you for the fact that you are that giving, that you are that feeling, and that you are either in a position or have been in a position where you can recognize that and come back to a place of being able to say no, to kind of say, I'm I need to take care of myself more than take care of you, like you being someone else. So let's see what else we have for you, group number 3. You have squirrel spirit, believe in yourself. You have white raven spirit, trust in the magic. Spider spirit, make your dreams real. And pig spirit, use your mind wisely. So your future spouse, they very much admire that you use your mind wisely, that you have this like Queen of Swords energy, that you're being reasonable, that you're being analytical and trying to use objective facts to make certain decisions about how you live your life. And they love you because they actually see you making efforts to start believing in yourself more, to make sure that you are taking care of yourself, and this trust in the magic and make your dreams real. It's as if with this death card, this rebirth, they fall in love with you because they get to see you make those steps in like laying down your like shields, breaking down those barriers, and really trust in that aspect of that inner child that just connects with everything around them and feels everything, and having a sense of belief that you will be fine, that this person will help you to realize that you have all the magic within you and that there's nothing you need to compromise for anybody, that you can really you can love, be loved, and you can have situations that can hurt you, but that you'll learn from those situations, and you will go on to have more experiences that help you grow, that help you to thrive. You have here constellation, coin, Akashic record, and map. So group number 3, your future spouse, with this constellation card, they fall in love with you because they see you recognize that everything kind of connects, almost like your experiences in the past. Had they not happened, had you not gone through those difficult times, you might not have met your future spouse. You might not have been able to go through this rebirth and this transformation that they get to help you go through. Like, they get to be part of that like new journey with you. And it's as if they love you because you recognize you wouldn't be here without being there. With this Queen's card, it's as if they fall for you because of the way that you are starting to value yourself, to value your feelings more, to really get your power back, that sense of abundance, that sense of making your dreams come through, and letting other people share in it without feeling taken advantage of, without feeling that you are giving up your power. They really love that you are mainly kind of understanding and embracing your self-worth. With this Akashic record, Your future spouse falls in love with you because you are rewriting your future. There's nothing that is set in stone. You are taking things from your past, learning from them, and you are creating the future that you want for yourself. And kind of like you are writing out your destiny with this trusting in the magic and making your dreams real. They see that happening for you, and them being able to witness that for you. It's as if like your success, your victory in this is not yours alone. They are like sharing in that with you because they see that you have that like spark in you, that you deserve this. And so they are really excited for that. And with this map card, your future spouse sees you moving beyond anything that you have set for yourself in terms of your goals from your past, and that you really in this rebirth and recognizing your strength, your value, what your truth that you will not compromise, and your like genuine connection with your environment and the world around you. They really fall in love with you because they want to see you expand and grow and go further than you may have thought that you could go in the past. And it's, like I said, it's not just a victory for yourself. It's a victory for them because they care about you and they want you to accomplish all these things. So they're very much in love with your potential, because not because you can get them status or you can, get them tickets to a game or something. It's more like they are truly happy to see you like get the things you deserve in life. You have Bee Spirit, Prosperity. Owl Spirit, Wisdom. Spirit Guardian of Summer, Expansion. And Thicket of Thorns, Uncertainty. So group number 3, this thicket of thorns, this uncertainty, is kind of like your past here with all these swords. It is as if you have felt pains. You know they exist. You know they're still out there in your future, but that it's almost like if you don't take a step forward to, move through it, then you're just stuck. And your future spouse falls in love with you because you are still moving forward, and so you can have this butterfly, this kind of rebirth transformation here with this death card. It's as if they recognize that you could just take your past experiences and just be stuck, but they fall in love with you because you're willing to move forward in spite of that, in spite of not having certainty about what your future holds, but really tapping into that trusting the magic and making your dreams real. With this owl spirit, it's kind of like this pig spirit, this use your mind wisely, and this wisdom card. They love you because they know that you have this Queen of Swords rational aspect about yourself, and that you can learn from your past. It's like you know what not to fall for anymore, and that it's almost like they love that you can take care of yourself, that you can protect yourself, that you can even be thoughtful and enough to kind of protect the things that you care about, and that you're not going to fool yourself. You're going to be wiser about things in your future. You're going to be more aware of the, thorns to look out for. With this Bee Spirit, prosperity, spirit guardian of summer expansion, your future spouse falls in love with you because they see this prosperity, this health and happiness, this abundance, expansion, like you just like blooming and just being ripe, you kind of meeting what you're meant to be. They see that happening for you and they get to be a part of it. And that's also why they fall in love with you, is they get to see you in this rebirth process and really get to be a part of you kind of glowing up and recognizing your potential, your power, and achieving those dreams and making those real. So this is what I have for you. I hope this reading provides a helpful perspective of why it is your future spouse falls in love with you. See you next time. Take care. Welcome back. This is the reading for group number 4, those who picked Neoteric Feminine Tarot, to reveal the feelings and the thoughts of your future spouse as to why they fall in love with you. So let's take a look at these tarot cards. We have 9 of Swords, 9 of Cups, 6 of Wands, Knight of Pentacles. So group number 4, I get a sense that your future spouse falls in love with you, number 1, because you are someone who tries to be well balanced. You have Swords, Cups, Wands, and Pentacles. So each of the suits in the tarot here are being represented. And you have this Knight of Pentacles here. So you really do care about what you create, the future that you have, that you are creating, the material wealth that you will attain, the people that you have around you, your reputation. You are someone that wants to put in effort. You want to make sure that things come out the way that you plan them to or intend them to. With the 9 of Swords and a 9 of Cups, it could be that you tend to be perfectionistic, try to plan out everything or know all the details, when in reality that's just not possible. And with the 9 of Cups here, there's a sense of you kind of recognizing there's a certain point that you get to where you maybe stress out, you kind of maybe can't sleep, and then you recognize you need to have some you time, that you need to just be okay with you, and you will, get done what needs to be done. You'll put in the hard work that you need to do. You'll be responsible. You'll keep to whatever schedule needs to be kept. And in the end, this 6 of Wands, this victory, there are obstacles that, at times can stress you out, can lift you up. But in the end, you are someone who really takes pride in what you do, and it's just not for you alone. You want to share that success with the people in your community, the people that you care about. So your future spouse falls in love with you because you very much are mindful about what you do, how you do it, those people that it affects, how it affects you, and really that you want the best for yourself, you want the best for the people that you care about, and that you are willing to work hard to put in that, put in that effort, whatever it is, whether it's a job, your studies, a relationship. You definitely want to make sure that you come out looking like you've done what you could, what was within your control to make things, work. So I'm going to go ahead and take these. You have here Rebel. You have Child Eternal. You have Servant. And Addict. So your future spouse, they fall in love with your ability to know your limits, know when you're about to kind of go past that tipping point. To some degree, you might be seen by others as addicted to perfection or addicted like a workaholic. But your future spouse recognizes that you are trying just to be the best version of yourself, and that you are aware of your tendencies to kind of tip the scales into like being a little bit too obsessive or a little bit too like, screw it, I have no control over it, I'm just gonna, do what I need to do to be happy. So they very much respect that you know your limits and when you're approaching them. With this kind of Rebel here, your future spouse really loves that you are able to kind of push back when you feel that things aren't going the way that they should be. You push back, you push forward. You don't necessarily take no as an answer. When you believe that there is something more that can be done, something better that can be done, to some degree you might have, it might just be an automatic kick-in of thinking, oh, well, it can be better, which kind of leads to that perfectionistic aspect. But at the heart of it, your future spouse recognizes that you just want the best for yourself. You want the best for the people that you care about. And sometimes, you recognize that there are like arbitrary limits or arbitrary standards that are put in place. And so they really love that you are kind of willing to, ask those extra questions, to, dig up that more information to kind of see if there is something more than what you're just being offered as like good enough. With this Servant card here, your future spouse falls in love with you in part because you really have a big heart. You really want to, share your successes with others around you. You really want to make sure that you're doing good, not just for yourself, but other people. It could be that you may give a little bit too much of yourself at times, which is possibly worrying about others. But also it's almost that they love that you're willing to give so much of yourself to ensure that the people around you are happy. because your future spouse is included in that group as well. But they also recognize that you can have the tendency to give too much of yourself. But with this Rebel card here, they have confidence in you that you know when to push back when it's just like you've reached this limit and there's just like no more that you can give or concern yourself with, something that's just not within your control. With this eternal child here, your future spouse falls in love with you because you help them to tap into that ability to see the potential in everything, that ability to recognize that whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you dream, you can make that. You can like put in the effort to like manifest that into reality. So they see you really working after what you want and having successes in what you want, and having, helping to share that celebration with people that you care about. And they are like really delighted that you are kind of sharing that experience with them. Because there is a tendency to just be a dreamer. People can get lost in this what if concept, but for you, you are more practical and more goal driven as opposed to a dreamer. So you really help your future spouse tap into that kind of energizing, inspiring creativity of potential of what could be, but help them to really focus on the practical and the step-by-steps on how to get closer to making a dream a reality or a goal more tangible. So let's see here. These two wanted to come out. So here we have Flamingo Spirit, Embrace the In-Between. You have Rabbit Spirit, Now is a Lucky Time. You have Seahorse Spirit, Watch and Wait. And you have Spider Spirit, Make Your Dreams Real. So, as I was saying before, this eternal child energy that you have, that your future spouse loves about you, really helps them to see that if they have a goal, they can implement it in a certain way so that things that they desire, they can actually accomplish those things. Perhaps in terms of setting up schedules, routines, targets for certain accomplishments or certain phases to take place, whether it's in job searching, whether it's investing, it's learning a new field of study, whatever it is. They really love that you are helping them to show them how that you make your dreams come true and help them to make that more practical approach happen as well. With this Embrace the In-Between here, your future spouse falls in love with you because of your ability to recognize there is moments of uncertainty, and that you are okay waiting it out. Like, you're looking at the end, the end goal here. You understand that there are ups and downs. You experience those. You understand there's things out of your control. You understand that you need to take care of yourself. You understand that there's other people involved in your successes or even your failures, and that sometimes you just need to be okay not being where exactly you want to be in the end, and that the journey is kind of part of just living life, part of the process of actually making your dreams a reality. With this watch and wait, it's a little bit similar in the sense of being, it's as if you are very much aware that there is that like finish line, end goal, whatever it is, and that it'll come. You just need to actually, think about what you want, kind of prepare yourself emotionally, mentally, and like put in that effort. You take those steps for it, and that what you want will come to you. And in your past, it's like smaller things, like finishing a certain subject in school, and then moving on to a harder subject, graduating high school, applying for your first job, getting tired of a job, quitting and moving on. It's like you understand that there is a long process in this journey of life, and you're okay with it. This now is a lucky time. It seems like your future spouse really also loves that you, although you are aware that you can't have exactly what you want all the time, and you are constantly working towards some goal, that you don't necessarily live in that like limbo, that you kind of recognize that everything around you, everything that is happening, it's like you're grateful for it. And it's like you're ready to jump on opportunities if they show up for you. Like you understand there's a long path, but you also recognize that sometimes amazing things kind of pop up, and you just, got to jump on it. And your future spouse really loves that aspect of you. They don't think of you as being reckless in that. They do think that, you will recognize what's best for you and can act quickly on it, even though you are very practical. You have here spell jar, bell, potion, and candles. Okay, so with this potion card, it's kind of like this eternal child. It's that concept of like, if you want to make something happen, you have that ability to tap into whatever it is you need, whether it's just kind of knowing that something needs to be done, or being excited about a certain project, or kind of, knowing that other people will benefit from whatever it is you're going to be doing. You have that ability to kind of to really see the potential and possibility of things, and really tap into what is needed to get things done, to move towards those things. With this spell jar, it's a sense of you being able to take different areas of your life, like these different elements, and kind of work them together to make your magic happen, to actually have your dreams come true, to make them real. And your future spouse absolutely loves that you have that, almost like that magic within yourself. With this Bell card here, it's as if the things you say, the things you do, you recognize that you have a huge effect, or maybe you don't, and your future spouse does recognize it, but you have a huge effect and impact on your community, on the people around you, and that it's almost infectious, that if you kind of want something to happen, if you're excited about something, you can get your people, your tribe excited about that. If there is like a celebration or party that you want to have, you kind of can, spread the word and get people pumped up for it. It's as if the way that you operate in life is very infectious, and whatever it is that you are determined to do or say, it really kind of resonates in everything that you do. And your future spouse really admires you and respects you for having that kind of impact on others without necessarily just using it to your advantage, but more, again, trying to lift up the people in your community. And here with this, these candles here, your future spouse is very much in love with you, or falls in love with you, because of the way that you take your time to kind of learn things, to maybe share information with others. Maybe other people don't really catch on as quickly as you, or see the potential that you do. And in terms of like almost your patience or your willingness to share your knowledge, to kind of help enlighten other people, and also to kind of honor and appreciate your connection with others, like the information that you share with them. That's something that your future spouse falls in love with you for. So let's go ahead and just get a few more cards here for you, group number 4. You have Bee Spirit, Prosperity. You have Owl Spirit, Wisdom. Frog Spirit, Renewal. Bluebird Spirit, Happiness. So group number 4, your future spouse falls in love with you because of your ability to really light up people's life and to bring happiness into other people's life. And this, this happiness that you have for yourself is infectious. You have that ability to really be happy wherever you are on your journey, regardless of how far you are or how close you are to whatever goal it is that you have. With this Bee Spirit and Prosperity, your future spouse falls for you because you have that that desire to lift everyone up in your community, to work with others, to help them achieve their goals, to become more inspired and more knowledgeable. Overall, having like a good sense of health and happiness, and even material wealth and abundance. However you can help others around you feel good about what's going on in their life and what's going on in your life. They really love that you share that you can really kind of have that aspect of your hard work and what you can accomplish, and knowing you can hit those goals. It's like, again, it's infectious, and everyone around you, when you are in that mindset, when you are really in that that eternal child, that abundant mindset, limitless possibilities, it really helps to lift everyone up. It's almost as everyone kind of wants better for themselves, wants to improve how they are. And your future spouse really loves that about you. With this owl spirit and wisdom, your future spouse falls in love with you because they believe you are smart, that you are wise, that you kind of don't lead people astray. You care about how you're seen. You care about how you carry yourself. You don't want to get involved in other people's drama. If anything, you want to make sure that everyone has a plan, or knows that they can get themselves out of any situation, that there's always like a way out of something. And so they really admire and respect you for that, and why in part they fall in love with you. With this frog spirit renewal, to some degree your future spouse kind of thinks that you are an opportunity for them to change, to grow, to have again, to help make their dreams come true. That it's almost, to a certain degree, someone like you in their life is something they never thought was possible. And not only are you going to be partners with them, you're helping them to see, hey, more than just being with me is possible. You can make whatever your dreams, your goals are, come true, and let me help you implement those steps on how to do it. And it's a sense of whatever direction you go in, whenever you decide your journey has ended, you're good with whatever outcome it is, whatever the successes you've accomplished, then you can start a new goal, go on a new journey, overcome new challenges, and have new victories. And this is something that they really admire about you, and definitely want to embody in their own lives as well. And part of the reason why they fall in love with you. So group number 4, this is what I have for you. I hope this reading provides a helpful perspective of the reasons why your future spouse falls in love with you. See you next time. Take care.